Justice League issue 5, written by Brian Hitch, art by Tony Daniel. Tony Daniel's back. He was missing the last issue or two, and I could not believe that this was the end of this arc, because nothing happens in this book that tells me that this is the last issue, and then it just ends suddenly in the last like 2 pages. Like the arc just wraps up really quickly.
Yeah,
it's a mercy kill, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, and they don't really do much with the fact that there's a planet full of cyborg men. The whole thing seems to exist just to tease something called the Forever Crisis.
Yeah.
Which...
See, and as I said earlier, I'm glad this is out of the way now, because from the solicits, the next stories seem a lot more fun. Than End of the Universe, because I still don't understand if the Kindred were good or bad, if the cyborg men were good or bad. This was all just a war between two warring races that get stuck in the middle.
We know one of them is there to stop the other, but we don't know which one was the one that we want to win. Possibly neither of them. I don't know, but
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point. It doesn't matter. It's like, well, we just don't want them on this planet. Go do it somewhere else.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I'm gonna care about this, if these guys show back up, you kind of like, if this is Starro coming in, right? You know, there's enough context to know, mind controlling Starfish bad, or Brainiac. If there's like a war between Brainiac and Starro, you know what the stakes are. But I kind of feel like when the Kindred were created by people, like they were trying to save the Earth, but maybe they're not actually helping. Like they think they are. I don't know, and like that's all well and good for later stories, but
everything's been poorly defined. Like Aquaman in this issue. I mean, the last 3 issues really, but this is the one where he finally did something. Is he has these magic crystals that are talking to him, and tell him.
But we don't know what they're saying because it's a one-way conversation.
Yeah, and he knows he needs to put them in a certain place, and then they do something, and that was it. Like, what were they? Why were they special? Like, there was very little.
Like Justice League side quest. Like each group of characters had a side quest that added up to nothing.
That is very accurate.
Right.
That's about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very disappointed.
I kind of want to know what Forever Crisis is. I mean.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, obviously I want to know. I mean, because the fact is, like, this could go 2 ways, right? This could either just be an arc in Justice League, meaning like, whatever, it'll probably just be another mediocre story. Or maybe this is an event that's coming in like a year's time. We don't know.
Well, anytime DC uses crisis, it's not small. Like, to use that word, like, they could have said the Forever event is coming, but they didn't. They said the Forever crisis.
Yeah, you see crisis and you go, ooh.
Well, that's why I'm thinking.
What's coming?
That's why I'm thinking there's a chance it's like a big event that's going to be a big deal. But if it is, I'm like, did they have to tease it in this mediocre book and not one of the other ones?
Yeah, not a great start to the...
But then again, where are you going to do it? You can't do it in Trinity because that's doing its own thing. And
JLA might be too late.
Yeah, so... And that's cool, but like... If the Forever Crisis involves these cyborg people and the Kindred, again, I'm going to be like, well... Cool.
Yeah.
It might be alright if it's written by someone else and
that's what I'm thinking.
Capitalize on.
If it's an event, then it may be written by a completely different person.
I just think Hitch isn't that great a writer, frankly. I mean, his art's all well and good for most people, it seems. But as a writer, I don't rate him.
It's funny though, because it's teasing things like this. We know we're going to keep reading it. It'll always be at the bottom of my pile, and it'll always be kind of mediocre, probably, but. I'll keep reading it because it's not offensively bad. It's just really...
It's easy to read still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least this arc's over. That's what I'm looking forward to. Now, if the next arc is not as good, then I'll probably drop it, and just pick back up when I know whatever event's coming and catch up on it. But, again, with the solicits, we have the date between Jessica and Barry coming up. That should be fun.
Yeah, I want to see that.